Yep. So let's go in here. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about arrow functions. Hello, arrow. String, and it returns hello. Yes. Can someone explain me what this function does?
It will add a string to the hello.
What, sorry?
It will add a string to the hello.
Yes. So if we give it a string of Benjamin, what will it say?
Hello, Benjamin.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So how do we do that?
You call the function.
Okay. What is this called? Yes, but on a more conceptual use. No?
Argument.
Parameter.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Parameter. And what do we call this?
argument.
Exactly. Yes. The parameters are the ones we kind of use to control our function. It's like having a big machine, and we have lots of parameters. We have some dials, we have some buttons we can push. These are all our parameters for our function. When we then call that function, then we give it different arguments that will then either return us something or. Okay, so what will happen now when if I run this code? What, sorry? Okay, let's try and run it. So what does it say? It says script loaded. Nothing.
Because it doesn't look.
Oh,
you think doesn't look?
Oh, you didn't. No, you don't need to console log.
Okay, it returns, but it not show.
Exactly. We're calling it, but nothing's happening. So what do you think we should do?
Instead of console login also return in a console, so we can use console login.
Yes. I don't want to console log it in here. I want to console log it out here. Okay? But what is normally a good idea when we have a return of a function?
You can just call the function.
I'll just assign it to a variable. Yes. Benjamin, hello. Okay. And now this I can log.
So why you didn't just use console.loop in the parameters, just write the function?
Because you can use it somewhere else if you need it.
So now I am calling it with Benjamin. And what is then being returned from here is being assigned into this variable. Okay? So the string, it kind of works like a placeholder, right? When I call this function with the string Benjamin, now suddenly string is equal to the value of what? Benjamin, yeah. Okay, so if I do like this. Okay, here when I call hello error, string will work as a placeholder, okay? And what we kind of put into that placeholder is here it's Bara. When we call it here, it's Benjamin. Okay, it's just so we have, you have probably talked about this before, but it's sometimes nice again to kind of talk about, okay? So the parameter works as a placeholder. So, yes, cool. Now I don't want to do this as a function. I want to say constant hello error. How do I make this into a function? So that yes, yes, exactly. Function. Okay. So now I am saying here I have a variable. In JavaScript, variable can be anything. They can be strings, they can be numbers, they can be objects, they can be anything. But what is weird about JavaScript is that a constant can also be a function. That is a bit strange.
That's
okay.
what I was trying to ask you on when you did const Benjamin hello. I was saying when you're calling, when you're assigning that function call, to the variable, it becomes a function.
No,
No.
no.
So when you
Here-
take, when a variable take a type of, what you are assigning it will not become the same type of.
It depends, like when we assign something to a function, okay? What is being returned in that function is what will be assigned to the variable.
Oh, yeah.
So depending on, we can return anything we run here. We can return an array, we can return an object, we can even return a function if we want to, okay? No, I don't think it's a stupid question.
Because I forget that when you're calling, actually give you the return of that function.
Yes, exactly. So what we have here, okay, let's log this out. Log string, because this is very important stuff. No, let's log it out. Okay, so string, the placeholder, right? When we call it with butter, string will be replaced by yeah, it's dumb that it's a string, but the string parameter will be replaced by the string butter. That is why we see butter here, okay? Now what we return in this function is what will get assigned to this variable, okay? If we don't assign it like this, nothing will happen. We will still return this function, but because there's nothing to kind of pick it up, there's nothing that goes in and say, oh, I want that, nothing will happen with that return value. It will be returned, but nothing will happen. But when we assign it to a variable, now this return will get assigned to this variable. So we can try and log that out. We can say hello plus string, like this. Now we should see twice hello butter. One, because this is exactly what we return. We see that here, okay? And the other one is where we take what was returned from the function, we assign it to a variable, and then we log that out, okay? Yes. And what would happen if we did like this? What would Benjamin hello be equal to?
He will give you the hello string.
What gets assigned to this variable is what is returned from the function.
So it will-
And now my question is, what do we return when we call hello adder? Answer that question. What do we return?
No, just
Function,
I
so
think
it's like calling a
it will
function.
just console look bad, because yes, console look bad, then hello bad, like this.
Yes, but I'm
Better.
asking.
Sorry, better.
Now this is just like a very specific question. What does hello adder return? Do any of you guys see any return inside of the hello adder?
Yeah, console log is a return.
Does it say this? Return? Does it say this?
Because console
No.
log is kind of return. Yes.
No, console log is just a console log. Console log does nothing.
Okay,
Okay, let me make it simpler for you.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
What's that? What's that mean? Sir?
What about now? What do
Someone said it.
Yes.
Someone said it.
What did you say?
But what? No, what did you say? Was it you or you? To the left. Who said it? Void.
Exactly. What do we return?
What?
We
What is
return
void?
nothing because we don't write return. When we look for what a function returns, we look for the keyword return. If there is no return, then the function doesn't return anything. But a function that doesn't return anything actually returns undefined. But that's kind of a quirk of JavaScript. So when we log this out, we call hello adder. Okay, it doesn't return anything. We don't specify any return. But JavaScript is like, okay, well that's the same to undefined. Okay, so when we look for what is returned by a function, the only keyword we are looking for is return. Okay, not console log, not .map, not reduce, not anything. Only return. Okay. Cool. So we were kind of agreeing that string, when we call it with butter, gets replaced by the string butter, which is what we see here. Okay, so this is exactly, well, this is exactly the same as this variable, because it gets assigned. Okay, cool. Now I want to rewrite this into a arrow function. Have you worked with arrow functions before? Yes. Okay. Then you can write this code for me. Adder arrow equals what?
No.
What, sorry?
No.
Yeah, it's the same as parentheses. Yeah, parentheses, but
Function.
parameters.
What should I write now?
Parentheses.
Okay, parentheses.
Then
Yes.
equal and
Yes.
yeah,
And the curly brackets.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. These are called parentheses.
yeah.
Yes. These are called curly brackets. This is equal to, and this is larger than, I guess. Probably they have some other names, but at least, yeah, these are called curly brackets.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Then
And what should I now write? We want exactly the same function as up here. We want exactly the same output. So what should I write? Return. Yes.
hello.
Yes.
But
You
but
have to
you
call
need
it-
to
Oh,
write a
let's-
string
yeah,
inside
but-
of the parentheses.
Yeah, but it's talking now. Just what? Sorry.
You have to go string in the parameter.
Yes. String. And
String.
yes, exactly. Okay. So you are pretty good at this, I guess. Let's assign it to a variable called Benjamin hello arrow. Boop, boop, boop. Super good name, right?
No, please change it because.
What should I call
we
this
cannot-
instead?
Maybe we make a mistake here.
Yeah,
We can change the name.
let's do like this. Okay, let's see if it gives us the same. I will just remove these console logs because now they are just confusing. Or maybe I will. It works as a replacement. Bup, bup, bup. Yes. Okay, what do we need? We need to log batter hello arrow. Okay, nice, well done. Can we do even better than this? Okay, help me.
What do you mean better than this?
Or can we make this shorter? What, sorry?
Since it's only one statement, so we can remove.
Since it's only one what?
One
Parameter.
parameter.
Yes, exactly.
So you can remove.
So we can remove these? Yes.
And then also that is also only one return statement, so we can remove the parameter.
Exactly. We don't need to, if we have a lot of code here, then we cannot do that because the only thing we're doing is we're returning this. We can actually remove this. Oh. And now this will get automatically returned. Okay, because we don't specify these curly brackets. Okay, let's try that. Nice. Okay, so if we have more parameters Then we need the parentheses, and if we have some code that we need to write, so return, let's say we wanted to log out string here, then we can't do it in one line. Because what, sorry?
Could you delete return?
Like this, or the whole
No, only the return keyword.
like this? Yes. This is just an expression, but we are not actually. Yeah, it's kind of like saying just true. Nothing really happens if we just say it, or if we do like this. I think you can do like this, right? Yeah. But we are not really doing anything with it. So, yeah, normally you put this in a if sentence. But if you're not assigning anything to it, then nothing will happen with it. Okay. So what is this called? Okay. We're doing some JavaScript basics here. So this is called an expression. It's just some code that does kind of nothing. And what about this? What is this called? Do you know? Yes, exactly, a statement. Yes. Okay. But what are we returning now?
Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Undefined nothing. Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, you get this pretty good. So I'll just move on to the example. So we want to fetch some data, and I have an HTTPS reddit.com. Do any of you guys know Reddit? Do any of you guys know Programmer Humor? Okay. Let's try and go to this. So Reddit is a site where you have a bunch of different links. You can upvote and you can downvote.
Oh yeah, I remember the avatar.
Yes, they have one called Programmer Humor, which is, yeah, funny jokes and memes about programming. And it's pretty good actually. Anyways, Reddit, they have an API.
Make one about Thunder.
What, sorry?
A meme about Thunder.
Yeah, probably that would be easy, I guess. No. They have an API. So if we call programmerhumor.json, we'll get some data. So have you seen this before? Do you know what this is? What is this called? This kind of file format? Exactly, it's JSON. Yes. How can we tell that it's JSON?
It's not JSON.
Yeah. It says .json up here. And another way we can see it is kind of the way it's formatted. JSON is a very strict format, so it's a string here. It's just like a text file, and it's always the double quotes, and there are lots of rules for how JSON should be handled. Anyways, we are going to be taking these posts on Reddit, and we're going to be working with them in JavaScript. Okay? So, we are using the fetch API. We'll do it with the arrow functions. Do anyone know what this returns here when we use fetch? Yeah, it's a promise, and when we call the then on that, we get a response object. So if we return the response object .json, now we will have some data.
Can you explain a little bit more? You know, we can choose. We can choose different things from here.
Yeah, from here.
Yeah.
This has lots of.
What we can use for example, otherwise than JSON? What we can get from this information?
You can get things like headers and how long it is, how file size and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you want to see what the response object kind of contains, how would you find that out? If we wanted to figure out what does the response object, what does it have inside of it, how would we do that?
You go to the website, JSON convert. I don't know what the website is.
We could do like MDN, and then we could do response. So MDN is just a really good kind of site for looking up documentation about JavaScript. So MDN response object, and then we can go in here, and then they have some documentation on here. There's some headers, okay, some status. There's some methods we can call here. We don't need to go into detail about that. The only thing I use it for is literally return the JSON, and then now we have some data here.
Okay. What is this data here? We can choose whatever we want, yes?
Yes, so let's try and see what that is.
Because it's already in JSON. The fetch is already in JSON.
But do you need to assign the JSON to the data?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I can't.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know, probably I think you don't need to get the response dash JSON because the file is already.
I think this should work. Let's see if we have anything here. Function. Oh. And oh. Okay, I think I'll try another API then, see if that works. Can you make it work, Oliver?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, I don't know what the response.json.
I'm sorry, but I think you should
I think
assign the JSON like this. You know, when you respond JSON, you should assign the
Nope.
JSON to the no.
Oh no, sorry, I wasn't asking. I was telling Benjamin that I couldn't make it work.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you see if you can make it work? Then I'll just do another
yeah.
example. Okay, we'll use another API then. Let's go in here. So we have here a JSON of different movies. Okay, they have a title, they have year, they have rating, votes, and running time. Okay, and what I want to kind of show now is the concept of why JavaScript is called like a functional programming, and how we can use different functions to make some really cool functionality. Okay, so
That's the question.
yes,
When you fetch the URL that you're fetching, the JSON file that you're fetching has to be string or an object.
this here,
Yeah,
this has to be a string.
has to be a string.
Yes, the URL.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be a string.
Because it's coming from a server. First thing.
No, it's just a URL is because it's text. Then it has to be a string.
You are asking to fetch inside that URL. So you're taking data inside that URL. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
So the data that URL has to be a string or an object.
It depends. It can't be just text. It can be text, it can be JSON, it can be XML, it can be anything. That depends on how the web servers kind of program. But when we use the APIs we use with JSON data. Okay? Cool.
The website decides what it gives you. It could be anything, you don't know.
Yes. Okay, so we have movies here. So these, what should I maybe, what is a better name for this parameter? What, sorry? Yes. Movies. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we have movies and we want to see how they look, the movies. Log out movies. Sorry. We are already doing that. Okay, can someone explain me the data structure of the movies? Have you heard that term before? Yes, exactly. It's an array of objects. Exactly. Yes.
But
We have an array.
how does it access to this data?
How it if we go
How
here.
the movies access to this data?
Yes. If we go just to the URL,
Okay, movies.json.
now we have a JSON file, a .json file. It's literally just a string. It's
Okay.
just text, nothing else. Okay.
Okay.
This here, that
It
kind of
returns the
function
this JSON,
.json. It says we are telling the JavaScript. We're saying the text here
Okay.
is in the format of JSON.
Okay.
And then JavaScript is like, oh, it's JSON. Then I'll make this .json file into an object.
Okay, so it's like the JSON that pass this.
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's like
That's what I
passing.
was asking before if it has to be a string or an object, because the response that JSON change whatever you get as an object.
Yes.
Because JavaScript need to have objects inside. I mean,
This just takes the text, or it takes a response object, and then it makes it. The .json file is exactly like you said, .pass. So it takes a JSON file and it passes it into a JavaScript object. So we now have, instead of having this that is just text in the form of JSON, now instead we have this, which is a JavaScript object, which we can call functions, we can do for each, we can do map, we can kind of work with it. Yes. Cool. Let's shorten this using arrow functions. What should we do?
take out the function,
Yes.
leave the response,
Yep.
equal variable,
Yes.
mutual response. Take off the curly bracket.
Why can we take off the curly brackets?
Just one.
Exactly. We're just returning one thing.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, if any array should have a name, yes? If we want to refer to the array.
Yes.
So what is the name of this array right now?
This name?
Yes.
It's movies.
Now we gave the movies as a name to this array.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so it is called movies. It could be called anything. It's just the name we give it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Now I want to get the newest movies.
We use catch.
What? Sorry. Catch. We can use catch, but that's mostly for seeing if you have any errors. Then you can do like catch or then. When we get into promises, you will kind of see that a bit more.
Yeah, now you want to catch some errors, or you want to.
No, now I just want to work with this data. We have the movies, and I want to show you some things that we can do.
Excuse me.
Yes.
For example, if now we want to access to the first object and, for example, the title, just if we write console.load movie dot, for example, brackets, no, not brackets, square brackets.
Yep.
For example, titles. Does it have a title in the objects? Can you open this? For example, title. No, zero. Zero then title.
Yes.
Okay. Now it will give us.
It will give us the title of the first movie.
Okay.
71. Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's get the newer movies. Okay? Yes. We want the titles of the newest movies. Exactly. Let's use filter first. So what do we write? Movies.filter. What does filter take?
Function.
A function. Yes. We'll write that as an arrow function. Okay? So what do I write here?
New movie.
New movie. Or we could call, no, not new movie.
Because in the end you want to have a new.
We can call this anything you want. So it's not that it's wrong. It's just
Not
and
related to what we are looking.
exactly. This is just a movie
Oh yeah, because they are featuring in the movie.
because we are just going through each element in the array, and they are just movies. Okay, so we call it movie. Okay. Oh. Then let's open it up. Okay. So let's say the newer movies are the movies that are younger than 2006. What do we write then?
Even you can sort them.
Which one?
We want the movies that are younger than 2006 or came out after 2006.
Return movies dot. Return movie dot. Year.
Yes.
Bigger than.
2006.
No, bigger than.
Bigger than? Yes.
For example, 2006.
Yes. Okay.
Hold on. 2006 has just
Okay. So what
Is this a string?
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
How can we see if it's a string or if it's not a string?
They have a
Exactly. They have quotes, and they are actually colored in another way in Chrome. They have the red color here, and the numbers they have the blue color. Okay. So how can we log out these newer movies?
Console.log
log.
movies. No. Yes. Because yes, movies. Just
Dot
use-
view.
What? Sorry?
Dot view.
no, just movies because
Just movies.
yeah.
Movies. Only movies, yeah. That's it.
We have exactly the same as all the movies.
Yeah, but we need to specify it. No,
What is it we need here?
just the view.
What? Sorry?
Just the view.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
movies
okay.
in the parentheses movie because you know this is the function, yeah.
What? Sorry,
You
Anna?
have to assign it a variable.
Exactly. we need to assign it to a variable because it returns a new array.
A new array,
It doesn't change the existing, it gives us a new array. What should we call this?
New movie.
Latest.
Yes, newer movies. Okay, now we have newer movies, it seems like. So let's check if we are right. 2014, 2009, 2016, 2013. It looks like we have done it correctly. Okay. Okay, cool. Now I want to assign this function into a variable. How do I do that?
To do what? What do you want to get in the
I don't want this here.
Const.
Yes. Let's just add this back. Const. And let's call this get new movies.
good function? Yeah.
Okay?
Then you can remove
Then
this
you call it,
and put the get. Yeah. Yes.
you call it
Everybody's like, yes. Okay. Cool. Let's do it like this because now it looks nice. Okay, let's see if this works. Yes, it looks like we are still getting the 2643 movies. Okay, let's shorten this a little bit again. Help me. Yes. Remove the curly brackets.
All the way
Remove return.
And moving. Yes. And have we got any? Yeah. We have. Okay.
Perfect.
Now it looks kind of cool, right? Okay. But I don't want an array of objects. I want an array of just the titles. Okay. So what do? I say
Maybe reduce keyboard
movie
here.
title.
No, reduce.
I want not all of the movies. I want the newer movies.
New movie title.
Does it title?
Newer movies. Yes. Dot.
Okay. Okay. That map.
No.
Exactly. We want to change the array because I said I don't want an array of objects. Now I want an array of just the titles. Okay, cool. Let's not call it. Let's call it titles. Newer movie titles. Yes. So newer movies dot map
You need to write a
and
Call it get title. Get new titles.
yeah.
Let's call it like
Get movie titles equal to
movie.
new movie. Oh yeah, movie.
Yeah.
Movie
dot
dot
title.
yes.
Just
Hey. Let's see if that works. Nice.
perfect.
We have 2643 and then we have just the titles, which was what we wanted. Okay. Now, have you heard about chaining?
What is
Okay. So we can actually, if we want just the newer movie titles, we can change a map and a filter and everything. Okay. So we can take this map, then we can get it up here. Let's do it both places. Okay. So boom, 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 and then let's say newer movie titles. No chaining, and we do like this. Let's see what that gives us. Lock newer movie title chain. So hopefully that should give us the same as the newer movie titles. And I know I went through that quickly, so I'll just explain in a second. Hip, 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 hip. So first we have just the newer movie titles, and then we have these two that should be the same. So we have one there and we have one there. Okay, so what is the difference? Let's get this up here. We have one here where we take the movies and we filter it with get new movies. Okay, the array we get from that is the movies that had a year later than 2006. Then afterwards we say with that array, newer movies we have here, so we say we want to map that so we only get the titles. And we can say that here. But we can do that we can chain it, so we don't need to kind of assign it to a variable and then again call map on it. We can say just movies dot filter get new movies. Then we have the new movies. Then when we call dot map on that, the map that this will return is what was returned from the filter. So these two are exactly the same as these.
We can delete them.
It's just shorter.
Just like stacking the version.
Exactly. When we return this is an array. If we return this movies.filter, it returns us an array. And on an array we can call .map. So that's exactly what we do here. We just chain it, doom. Because this one returns an array and we're like, oh okay, I'll just grab that array and then I'll only get the titles. And this is kind of what is meant by functional programming and function composition, because now actually it's not so much programming anymore. It nearly sounds like I'm talking to you guys. I say, hey, I'll take the movies and then I'll filter it by get the new movies, right? And then I'll map it with the movie titles. It's nearly like I'm talking. Filter, get new movies. That'll give me the new movies. Cool. Map, get movie titles. That'll give me the movie titles. And in this way, I can kind of I can hide away programming details. I actually don't. These functions, I could have up here, all the way up here. And when I read this code, I still understand what it does. The abstraction is it's hidden away. So now it's just like I'm talking, I'm saying, I'll get the movies, or give me the movies, I'll filter them with only the new movies. And then I'll map them with only the movie titles. I don't need to be thinking about how do I get the individual, how do I define a new movie, how do I get the titles. I don't need to be thinking about that.
It's so simple.
Yes, exactly.
And now I can understand it easily.
Yes. Okay. Did you get the Reddit to work?
No.
Okay, cool. We'll have a break now, the lunch break, and then afterwards we'll have exercises.
So just show me this link. I want to practice now.
Benjamin?
Yes, I can send this. Yeah.
I was thinking because you were working with objects, so why don't you just use the filter you want, which is basically...
I was working with arrays. I was working with arrays here.
No, but after you fetched the JSON file, it turned it into objects, right?
An array of objects.
Yes, an
Yes.
array of objects. But how about the first time you filtered it, that you gave it according to age, like the newer movies, right? So after you find the newer movies, you push them to a new array, and then you get the titles of each element in the array.
So I said that again.
Okay, so when you get the basically you get the 2643
Yeah.
values, right?
Yes.
According to the date,
Yes.
and then you push this into a new array.
No, I don't push it.
I mean, what if you push it and then you make like you get the native titles of every single element of the array of the object?
I don't think I understand what you're asking.
It's not an add function, it's just like a method. Like instead of, I mean, after you did it this easily, this is the easiest. But before you actually get to know this, what happens if you filter the first time you get all the dates, right? Like, can you scroll up a little bit?
Like up to this? Or
Yeah, like before. Yeah, do you see on Chrome? On Chrome.
yes.
Like that one.
Yep.
The big array with the objects. Yeah.
Yes.
This was according to age only, right? Like the date.
The year.
The
Yeah.
year, yeah. Okay, how about you create a new array with only these elements, or these objects, and then you get the titles of each one of them.
That is what I do. I just do it. Let me just see here. So you say, so if we lock this array out here,
Yeah.
the movies.filter get new movies.
So,
That is this array, which is here. We have the 2600, and it's an array of objects with the year and the rating and the title. So here we have the array of objects, and then I say I didn't want the objects, I wanted just the title of them, which is what we do here, which is the mapping
so
part.
it's definitely the same.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, like I was thinking the same exact thing that is happening. I didn't know it was happening.
Ah, okay.
So because like when he calls filter, it returns the new array.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Eller når man kan kalde det server-side. Det der array.
Okay, men det kan godt være, at de har lavet det om så. Fordi jeg prøvede det. Prøvede det her for nylig.
Lost.
Så hvis vi kalder det browseren,
They lost 3-0.
Because who's like India?
What?
Who plays the
ADC.
India?
Easier. Oh, Fnatic. Yeah, that was the previous one.
Yeah.
Caps.
Yeah. Here it and a very good highlight.
Yes, clap.
Good highlight.
It smells nice in here.
Nature.
Yeah. It smells like human.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Cool.
Yeah, so I will come next week and I will check out the rest of the videos for recording.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. But I'll write to you then about the homework thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I did some the last week.